Yo, happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. And by the way, you can watch that on Tubi if you got a streaming platform. I can't believe the Super Bowl is going to be on Tubi. Wow. So Fox and Tubi are working a deal together so you can watch the Super Bowl. You can watch the pregame on Fox and Tubi, and you can watch the Super Bowl on Tubi. Wow. And also Kendrick Lamar as well for halftime. I think him and SZA are going to be up there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today on this Sunday? It's your boy DDE80, aka Mike D, aka 13th Wonder of the World. I got all the alias. So don't get mad at me when I have all three of them together if I mix them up. It is Super Bowl Sunday. I was supposed to have came on Friday, but I ended up having one of my cousins come down from Port Arthur. Shout out to DE, that's my cousin, my big cousin at that. He's older than me. Came through, chopped it up. Actually had a little fun, played some retro games and things like that. He ended up going home. He was going to be a guest on the show. I have to get him on the next rip when he comes back here to Louisiana. He's actually gonna be a part of a point of view when I start back simulcasting. Also, I got a lost interview, ladies and gentlemen, that I haven't put out yet. It's an interview with me and Fade, DJ Fadeaway. Shout out to DJ Fadeaway. We did a few days before the beginning of the year, talking about wrestling as well as football as well as basketball, and his predictions on 2025 with the team that he has, that he likes, which is the New Orleans Pelicans. Wow. We know what kind of season they got, but yeah, shout out to Fade, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Fade, and also shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Bobby Reezy, Point Place family, M Breezy 99, my sister. Love all y'all. Thank you for tuning in and watching The Point of View, which is also Podbeam as well as YouTube. And we're about, a little over 2 hours left. I think 3 hours left for the Super Bowl. I gotta hit the other job tonight, but I'm gonna try to watch as much of the Super Bowl as I can. Like I said, the Super Bowl is gonna be on Tubi. These streaming networks coming through with this NFL endorsement. Next year, Peacock has the NBA and NBC. It's going to be interesting, as of course, NBC has WWE as well as Peacock, as well as Netflix, as well as USA, as well as C-Dub. So they're in the mix as well to make streaming platforms are making money, ladies and gentlemen. They're making the money. Tubi has really just picked up listen to what I'm finna tell you, a huge endorsement from the NFL. The NFL is breaking bank to put the NFL on these streaming networks, just as well as they did with with Christmas with the NFL, because they had Patrick Mahomes on. That's the reason why it went so successful, because the Chiefs were playing as well. But ladies and gentlemen, as far as I know, and I will say this is a huge deal for Tubi, because if they don't have no issues with broadcasting the Super Bowl, because the NFL has their own camera crew and all this stuff, but if they have a great run with this, then ladies and gentlemen, the Super Bowl may be on Tubi next year. It's just that simple. We know that Tubi has some great shows and things like that, but Tubi has the NFL, just as well as Netflix had the NFL. The only blunder I can say about Netflix is last Monday night, they were buffing a little bit with Raw. You got to clean that up. You got to clean that up. WWE put in a 10-year, 11-year deal with Netflix, and your streaming platform is not built. It's buffing and stuff like that. It's just like the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. So we'll tune in and see how that goes tomorrow. I'm not going to get on wrestling tonight. I will talk about wrestling tomorrow before it comes on. I will give my thoughts on the Super Bowl, who won, who lost, what was the key factors to me, was there some questionable calls and things like that. Now, before I do get in the Super Bowl, let me talk about basketball for a minute, the NBA. So, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Davis, who was a former member of the Lakers, NBA champion of the Los Angeles Lakers, he went to Dallas yesterday, played in his first game in Dallas, played 3 quarters, and ended up getting injured. First game. But guess what? He says he's good. He says he's good. He says he's all right. It was a non-contact injury, so AD should be just fine. From what is being told to me. Also, Mark Williams will not be a Laker right now. So that means the Connect Four and Cam Reddish has got to come back to the Lakers. And I know the feeling that they're going to have. It's only going to be, listen to what I'm going to tell you, it's only going to be an amount of time before they end up off the Lakers team, which will probably be the summer. Now, they have to go with the mentality and have to think with the mentality and figure out, man, the Lakers traded us, man, but we're back here. We ain't even going to Charlotte, but we're back here. So what are we going to do? That's going to be hard to say. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Lakers, I think the Lakers have won 6 in a row or something like that, the last 4 or 5 games. Another blowout. They have been blowing teams out they've been playing. The game was close last night. We came back a little bit, the Pacers, and the Pacers lost the game because they had the Pacers beating the Lakers, but AR-15 had 45 points. He played absolutely great, him and Rui, with LeBron and Luka not playing, with Luka will be playing tomorrow against Utah because they got 2 back-to-backs against Utah, and we're going to see what happens in those games. Hopefully, Luka can go out there and make a huge statement for the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as AD with the Dallas Mavericks. The Golden State Warriors played absolutely great last night. Steph Curry and them were down by 20, playing old Warriors basketball. Steph was lighting up Chicago. Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had a great game as well. He had like 20 points. So he's adjusting, and now we're hearing that he will sign an extension or something with the Warriors. He will re-sign with the Warriors. That's going to be interesting to see what the Warriors are going to do. I don't think they're going to do anything this year, but next year, man, look out, ladies and gentlemen, the Warriors might be back on top of the food chain. The Lakers have beaten them twice this year. Christmas Day, another game where we beat them. We've beaten them 3 times, so we got one more game against the Warriors this season, unless we meet them in the playoffs or something. But the Lakers are 11 games over 500. They're playing some tremendous ball without Luka Doncic, and they played yesterday without LeBron James. So we'll see what happens in the NBA with those boys. SGA is still on the tear. He should be the MVP this year because the guy's been playing absolutely phenomenal. He's been scoring over 20 points, 25 points, 40, 50. He's been putting that piece on them. The Suns are still looking kind of tore up. We know that Kevin Durant is injured. Now, from what I've heard, they're saying that the Suns locker room is in a heap, is in a distress because of what happened with Kevin Durant not leaving the Phoenix Suns. They were able to get rid of Jerkic. Now, let me say this, and then I'll go to my football, because it's time for me to talk about football, if you don't mind. The Lakers are going to have to find a way to get somebody in the buyout for the next 30 games. I don't see anybody out there on the buyout except for Mo Bamba. Now, there's no way that Valanciunas, who's now with the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, Nurkic plays somewhere else. Unless one of those guys want to be bought out, get waived from where they at, I don't see anybody else on the buyout market except for Mo Bamba. And the Lakers had him. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to keep going with Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is athletic when he's not injured. Believe me when I tell you, he's a great fit for the Lakers. He knows how to run. He's very athletic. The only problem is with Jackson Hayes is he has to get his shot off of somebody lobbing him the ball or something like that. He does not have, I've never seen him just put the ball on the ground, on the floor, and make his own move. I think he has to go with pick and rolls and things like that. Mark Williams would have fit the bill for that from what they said, but we won't know that now because Mark's not coming to LA. Maybe in the summer he might, but not right now. So the Lakers are going to have to be content with what they got unless they want to go out there and just add Mo Bamba to the list. I think you should add Mo Bamba because he's not on nobody's team right now, and that shouldn't fit the bill for what they do. And here's another thing that I think the Lakers should do. I don't care what anybody says. If Chris Middleton is not going to stay with Washington, I think the Lakers look to get him in a buyout. Chris Middleton. Either him or Marcus Smart. Because Washington is a great place for some of those guys, but Washington is not a spot for a guy like Chris Middleton. Unless Chris Middleton goes out there and tries to help Jordan Poole become a better basketball player. But that's Jordan Poole's team. You know what's going to happen with Washington's not going to win. You know these things. And here it is. We're looking to see what the next move is in the NBA. Now that the Super Bowl is on, at the end of the week, next weekend, we're going to be watching NBA All-Star because NBA All-Star is combined kind of with Valentine's Day. And I hope somebody's special in you guys' life that you can make smile on that Valentine's Day. And that's also talking about me too. Okay, let me talk about football for a minute, the Super Bowl, and then you guys can prepare food or, get yourselves ready for the Super Bowl. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Now, I helped DE make some parlays. I'm talking about if he wins on these parlays, he's looking at about altogether, he's looking at about, I say about 2,500. because he had the free bets that were worth 100. So he spent 25 on about 4 parlays. So let me say this. I hope everybody's stuff hit tonight. I hope everybody that plays the sports, I hope that your spreads hit. I hope that everybody can win tonight off the Super Bowl. Let me talk about the game itself. There's 2 historical situations here. Philadelphia wants to be a Super Bowl champion again. Within the last, 7 years, they've been to the Super Bowl now 3 times out of 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. They beat the Patriots, our team, back in 2017. I think, because that's when Nick Foles did that switch and caught the ball in the end zone on 4th down. And they strip sacked Tom Brady, Brandon Graham. I think it was Brandon Graham that strip sacked Tom Brady at the end of the game, and the Eagles were able to win. Kendall won his first Super Bowl, and he rubbed it in. All right. So let's talk about that historical. The Eagles want to win the Super Bowl that they lost just 2 years ago when Jalen Hurts had a turnover at the end of the game, a costly turnover. I think it was a fumble or a sack or something like that happened to him. He played a absolute perfect game until the last minutes of the game, and that's when the Chiefs go by and win. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl by 3 points. Now, let me talk about something else here. History in the making, ladies and gentlemen. If Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, this will be the 3rd straight Super Bowl, which is history for the Kansas City Chiefs. This will be Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl, which means he needs to win 4 to pass Brady, and he needs to win 3 to tie Brady. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I don't like Kansas City, there's a possibility that will happen tonight. It's time for them to lose, in my book. Because you cannot win the Super Bowl each year. The Lakers did not win the championship every year they went to the finals. They've lost too. Especially in the years of Bird Magic. Bird was able to beat Magic a couple times, but in the end, Magic was always there. Kobe and Shaq. Kobe went to the NBA Finals 7 times. He lost to Ben Wallace and, Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, and those boys with Shaq, Karl Malone, and a Gary Payton on their team. And then he lost again to Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce the first time they played against each other in the finals. So you don't win every time you get there. Does this break? No. What happens is if Kansas City does not win tonight, they'll be all right. Mahomes can't win every year. But my thing is this, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants it more? I think Jalen Hurts and them wanted more, man. I'm just gonna be blunt, honest with you about the whole kid and caboodle of this thing. I think they're gonna have a problem trying to stop Saquon Barkley. I think the Eagles defense is gonna come behind the Chiefs. And I also think, and I want to say this with all due respect to the Kansas City Chiefs, I think Kelsey will play a great game, but I don't think that's going to be enough to stop those Eagles. I think the Eagles could possibly win the Super Bowl. Think about this. If Jalen Hurts wins this Super Bowl, he will be the fourth black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, because there's only three. That's Patrick Mahomes, that's Doug Williams, and that's Russell Wilson. Those are the only three black quarterbacks they have in the game right now, in the history to win a Super Bowl as a black quarterback. If Jalen Hurts does this, he will be the fourth. And I think that Sirianni and I think Kellen Moore and all those boys. By the way, Kellen Moore will become the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints when the Super Bowl is over. So he's there right now in his new home of New Orleans, where he's going to be coaching. I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be next year. I don't even think Derek Carr is going to be there. He could be, but I don't know. But this is Kellen Moore's chance to get a Super Bowl ring before he goes to New Orleans. So congratulations to him as well. The other stories out of there's a talk that Aaron Rodgers will probably not be in New York with the Jets coming up. He has to make a decision on where he's going to play it. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, and if Pittsburgh is not going to keep Russell Wilson, which they're stupid if they don't, I think you go send him there. I think, and this will be a shock, ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota is not going to keep Sam Bradford. I mean, yeah, Sam Bradford, that's his name. Is that his name, Sam Bradford? What's the quarterback's name? Sam O'Donnell? The quarterback for the Vikings. So they're not going to keep him. So they're not going to keep him, but I think they're going to go with, who's the quarterback? The backup quarterback? Pittman? Is that who that is? Pittman? I can't, my Memorex is not working right now, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, they're going to have to figure that out. If the Giants need a quarterback, which they do, Sam Darnold. I think that Sam Darnold could possibly be going back to New York to play for either the Jets or the Giants. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't even worry about I would go right down the street, go play for the Giants. Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors? Malik Neighbors catching the ball, Tyron Tracy getting a handoff from Aaron Rodgers in a Giants uniform? He would be in a division where he's going up against the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders. Could you imagine that matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Daniels? And that's just me hypothetically talking. I'm just saying, if Pittsburgh's not going to keep Russell Wilson, if Pete Carroll wants Russell Wilson in Oakland, in LA with the Raiders, then I think Aaron Rodgers should be a fit to go to Pittsburgh. Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, a guy that he coached against in the Super Bowl in the past. Very interesting. But he's not going to be in the Jets uniform next season. The Jets may draft a quarterback. I think, if you're going to pick up somebody, why not pick up Shedeur Sanders? If Shedeur is on the list, if I'm Shedeur, and if I don't become a Cam Ward or somebody like that, if I'm not the 1-2 pick, and if you slide down to 4, and if Travis Hunter is still in that mix, and you let Travis Hunter go 4th, the Patriots are going to love having him. with Brable and Drake May with a whole year under his belt as a quarterback. Oh yeah, Patriot Nation to be back. It might be painful for him for about a year, but man, the Patriots need to get an impact player in the draft, guys. They need to get somebody that's an impact. I wouldn't mind if Genty was still on the board and he coming out. I would get Genty put on that team. There's no doubt about it. I am going with the people that I know that can make an impact. And Genty could be one of those if he's coming out of the draft. And so, with that being said, let me just say, I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. My brother, of course, I want to see him happy. I want my brother to win with the Chiefs. With the Eagles, excuse me. My cousin D.E. is going for the Chiefs because he wants the Chiefs, of course, to win. All I want to do is see a good, fair, good game. I don't want the officiating be the reason why this Super Bowl gets tainted in my book, because there's a lot of officials, a lot of referees that causes teams championships. And I don't want that for the Eagles, because everybody knows that Patrick Mahomes, he is the golden boy. You cannot touch him in the NFL. And that's just the way it is right now. He's got the Tom Brady role and the Drew Brees role and the Aaron Rodgers role of now. And with that being said, God bless you, God keep you. I will be back on tomorrow to talk about Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and of course, what has happened with the Super Bowl, the winners and the losers of the Super Bowl. God bless you, God keep you, and I'm out.